In this lesson, we will see about individual contact methods. So, after going through these units, you will be in a position to know the objectives and strong and weak points of individual contact methods, to obtain idea on various individual contact methods, expose yourself on the use of farm and home visits, farmers call, telephone call, etc. Understand the procedure to conduct observation plots and result demonstration methods. So, what do you mean by individual contact method? In individual contact method, the extension worker communicates with the people individually, maintaining separate identity of each person. This method is followed when the number of people to be contacted are few. Another thing is they must be conveniently located close to the communicator. Also, sufficient time must be available for communication. Some example of individual contact methods are farm and home visit, farmers call, telephone call, personal letters, observation plots or adaptive mini-kit trials. So, what are the objectives of individual contact methods? Number one is to develop good relations with farmers and gain their confidence. Second objective is to discuss individual or village problems. C. To find out problems which he is not aware of and to prepare a suitable action. D. To obtain or give information, and E. To teach skills. Let us see the strong points of individual contact methods. So, the individual contact methods are useful in contacting the stay-at-home type of people, for teaching complex practices, for selecting local leaders, cooperators and demonstrators, to increase confidence of farmers in extension, to gain first-hand knowledge of farm and home conditions. The farmers feels a sense of personal importance which is conducive to bring about the desired changes. The individual contact methods enhance effectiveness of group methods and mass media. Effectiveness of group responsibility depends on willingness of individuals to share in it. It is individuals, not groups, who learn, who make choices and accept responsibilities. Coming to the weak points of individual contact methods, number one is they are relatively expensive because it is time consuming. Low coverage of farmers, only few farmers can be covered under individual contact methods. Number 3, possibility of extension worker being charged with favoritism. So, among the various individual contact methods, farm and home visit is one of the individual contact method wherein there is face-to-face type of individual contact by an extension worker and a farmer and or with the members of his family on the farm or at his home for one or more specific purposes connected with extension. The objectives of individual contact methods. Number 1, obtain or give first-hand information on matters relating to farm and home conditions. Number 2, give advice or otherwise assist to solve a specific problem or to teach skills. Number 3, the farm and home visit arouse the interest of those not reached by other methods. Number 4, select local leaders, demonstrators or cooperators. Number 5, promote good public relations. And number 6, the individual contact or the farm and home visit can be used to contribute to strengthening the extension organization or facilitate extension program. Let us see the techniques as how it is to be followed. First, we have to plan the visit. So, for planning the visit, we have to decide upon the place of visit, whether it is farm or home. We have to review the previous contacts with members of family. The extension workers has to decide the purpose of the visit. He has to check the subject matter and information needed and materials required like leaflets or bulletins, etc. He should work out the schedule of visit to save time. He should make an appointment if possible. The remote and unfrequented farms and homes should be always kept in mind. So, this is about planning the farm and home visit. Coming to making the visit, he should greet the farmer and his family. Punctuality and convenience of the farmer should always be kept in mind. Contact the farmer preferably when he is working in his farm. For example, discuss about the improved plough when the farmer is ploughing. Praise the farmer's work. Be friendly and sympathetic. Gain and deserve the farmer's confidence. Encourage the farmer to reveal the problems he is facing. Let the farmer do most of the talking. The extension worker should not talk himself. He should allow the farmer to talk freely. Speak only when he is willing to hear and talk in terms of his interest. Use natural and easy language, preferably local dialect, for easy understanding. The extension worker should speak slowly and cheerfully. Be accurate in his statements. He should avoid arguments. Compliment the farmer for his good ideas. Be sincere in teaching, and if anything is new, learn from the farmer. You should arouse interest and create a desire to take action. You should render the farmer a real service. Leave clear impression about the objective of his visit. If possible, you should hand over the printed material like folder or bulletin pertaining to the topic discussed, or any form input if necessary. This will help in developing the friendship. You should plan with the farmer the time and purpose of his next visit. And the third part is recording the visit. So, during this process, the agent will almost make a series of notes and observations certainly. On the first working day, these notes should be neatly written down on an individual card kept at the extension office. After each visit, the agent should record the date, purpose, conclusions or recommendations, as well as any other additional information or observations arising from his visit, if he feels that will be helpful. And the last step is follow up the visit. Finally, the agent should arrange for any follow up that might have been agreed with the farmer. Follow up also involves the sending of further information or arranging for a subject matter specialist to visit the farmer concerned. Extend invitation to the farmer so as to attend a meeting on the concerned topic if any. Make subsequent visits if and when required. So, let us see the advantages of farm and home visits. So, it provides extension worker with first hand knowledge on farm and home conditions and the viewpoints of farm people. Number 2, when it is made on the request, the farmer or homemaker is likely to be ready to learn. The ratio to acceptance to action is high. Building confidence between the extension worker and the farmer increases the effectiveness of growth methods and mass media methods. Contributes to selection of better local leaders, demonstrators and cooperators. Develops good public relations between the farmer and the extension workers. It is useful in contacting those who do not participate in extension activities and who are not reached by mass media. So, any extension teaching method will have the limitation, strength as well as weaknesses. So, this farm and home visit also have some limitations. So, it requires relatively large amount of extension workers' time. Limited number of contacts only is possible by the extension worker. It is comparatively costly. Time of visit may not be always suitable for farmers. Visiting only the progressive farmers and neglecting the real needy farmers is possible. So, these are the weaknesses. The next individual contact method is farmer's call. So, it is a call made by farmer or a farmers group on the extension worker at his office to get information or other help needed or for making acquaintance with him. So, the objectives of farmer's call is to facilitate quick solution to farmers' problems, to save the time of extension worker, to enable the farmers to bring specimens of diseased plants or insect pests, etc., so that the extension worker can identify them and give necessary advice to the farmers, to arrange for or ensure timely supplies and services, to establish close contact between farmers and extension workers. So, what are the techniques in farmers call? First, planning and preparation. Keep the office neat, orderly and attractive. Remain present in the office on fixed days and hours because farmers may call any time. Communicate these days and time to the farmers and homemakers in advance. And coming to implementation part, allow the visitor to talk first and make the point. Discuss about the problem, suggest solutions. If necessary, take the person to the subject matter specialist. And the follow up the extension worker should make is to make a note of the call if necessary. If required, refer the problem to research organization for solution. And the advantages of farmers call are: number 1, visitors likely to be highly receptive to learning. Number 2, economical use of extension workers' time. Number 3, good indication of farmers' confidence in extension. The limitations of farmers' call are: extension worker cannot remain at headquarters always. Callers may not be satisfied with just the information obtained in his absence. Office call may not reflect the real problem or accurately reveal existing conditions. Visitors likely to be limited to those participating in other extension activities. Another method which falls under individual contact method is telephone call. So it is a contact between the extension worker and the farmer over the telephone for one or more specific purposes connected with the extension. Personal letter is one among the individual contact methods. This is a letter written by the extension agent to a particular farmer or homemaker in connection with the extension work. This should be regarded as a substitute for personal contact. The objectives are to answer queries from the farmers regarding specific farm problems or supplies and services, to ensure the farmers' cooperation in extension activity. The letter should be complete. It must give all necessary information to accomplish its purpose. It should be concise. Say what you have to say in the fewest words, consistent with the clearness, completeness and courtesy. Be clear. It can be understood but cannot be misunderstood. Correct, containing no misstatement of facts or grammatical mistakes. Courteous, tone appropriate for the desired response. How something is said as important as what is said. Neat, free from overwriting, striking, etc. It should be readable with short sentences, short words and human interest for easy reading. And the techniques to be followed are: send the letter in time. If a letter has already been received, reply promptly. The content should be simple, giving complete and useful information for the farmer's field situation. Use simple language. Another method which will be useful to value the scientist recommendation is observation plot, or it is always otherwise known as adaptive or mini-kit trials. It is a method by which suitability or otherwise of a new practice to a given locality and a farmer's condition is determined. A new practice may mean the introduction of an improvement over local practice. Example, placing cultivation of pollinated maize with hybrid maize, replacing an already established improved practice with a more proven new practice which had replaced earlier. The objectives of observation plot is: number 1, to test the performance of a new practice under farmers' conditions, which was already found to be promising in a research station. Number 2, large scale introduction of new practices without any prior observations may lead to losses to farmers and consequent losses of the confidence in extension. This risk can be avoided. To build the confidence of both the extension worker and farmers in the utility as well as feasibility of a new practice. Then coming to the principles of observation plot. Number 1 is: determine the need for arranging the observation plot. Prima facie case for undertaking the trial, taking all conditions into consideration. Be clear about the specific purpose of the trial. Select about 6 representative centers in your jurisdiction conducting the trial. Select the cooperatives in consultation with the local farmers. Select a farmer who has confidence in extension work and who also can take the risk of possible failures, who has the holdings and average field representative of the tract and so easily accessible as the cooperators. Explain clearly that it is only a trial bar experiment, not a demonstration plot. Number 8, all operations must be done only under the personal supervision of the extension worker. 9, visit the trial plot as frequently as possible. Record all your observations on the relative performance of control and treatment in the 3 phases. 3 phases, whatever the, namely for example in the vegetative phase, flowering phase and harvesting stage. And such plots can be carried on any technology that is proven to be successful in any research station. Number 10, maintain accurate records. These records must clearly indicate the dates of important operations, the yields per acre, the cost of production, the net income per acre and other important observations. The advantages of observation plots are: it avoids the risk of hasty recommendation or adoption of a new technology, constitutes the first step towards the spread of a new practice after thorough testing, obviates the technicalities, difficulties and delays involved in laying out regular trial plots and analyzing the results statistically, builds confidence of the extension and research workers on one hand and of the farmers on the other hand in the utility and feasibility of a new practice. The limitations of observation plot are: it makes heavy demand on the time and energy of extension worker. Seasonal failures will delay the assessment of the worth of a new practice, leading to consequent delay in its adoption. Securing suitable cooperators is not easy. If the tested practice fails, it may lead to a loss to the cooperating farmer. Lack of statistical analysis of the data may end in mistaken conclusions. Another important method which comes under individual contact method is result demonstration. So, a result demonstration is a method of teaching designed to show by example the practical application of an established fact or a group of related facts. It is a way of showing people the value or worth of an improved practice whose success has already been established on the research station, followed by trials or observation plots. In this method, the new practice is compared with the old one on farmers' holdings, so the villagers can see and judge the results for themselves. Such demonstration requires a sufficient time and records. It is no sense an experiment or a trial. The result demonstration may be varietal to prove the productivity of new varieties, it may be manurial to prove the efficiency of fertilizers, it may be cultural to show the worthiness of cultural practices, it may be a combination of two or more of the aforesaid types. Composite demonstration in which all the essential improved practices in respect of any crop are included as a package of improved practices. There are two common sense principles underlying this method. One is, a farmer will believe what he does or sees himself. 2. Under similar conditions, what is good for one person will be good for others also. Next, we will see the objectives or purpose of result demonstration. The main objective is to show the utility and feasibility of a recommended practice under real village conditions. Number 2, second objective is to establish confidence on the part of the farmer as well as the extension teacher. So, how should we conduct the result demonstration? So, we have to follow certain techniques or procedures in conducting the result demonstration. First technique is analyze situation and determine the need. So, it is necessary to establish further confidence in local application of research findings and results of observation plots. What has been the experience of the extension worker in guiding and carrying out the practice under similar conditions? Is it possible to locate good illustrations of the practice locally, obviating the necessity of expensive result demonstration? Is the need for result demonstration felt by the farmers? Number 2, decide upon the specific purpose. Which particular audience should have the learning experience? What specifically do you want them to learn? Is it to give confidence to the extension worker in the new practice and provide him with teaching material? Is it to establish confidence of farmers in the new practice? Is it to develop confidence in extension on the part of the community or a minority group which is not known well or unfavorably? Number third procedure or technique is plan the result demonstration. Consult subject matter specialist. Make as simple as clear cut as possible. Decide upon evidence needed and how local proof will be established. Determine number of demonstration needed to accomplish purpose. Locate sources of material. Reduce plans to writing. And the fourth technique is select demonstrators. Consult with the local leaders. Select a demonstrator who commands the confidence and respect of his neighbors and who is interested in improving his practices. Visit the selected demonstrator. Ensure that all conditions for success for demonstrations are favorable. The demonstration should be aware of its responsibility, the successful completion of the demonstration and its effect upon the community. The demonstrator should be interested to use the demonstration for teaching purposes such as publicity, pictures, meetings, tours and personal enquiries. The demonstrator should have to secure the necessary physical equipment, supplies and materials to carry out the demonstration with a successful conclusion. He explain and agree upon procedure with demonstrator and have written instructions preferably. Number 5, select the plot, demonstration plot. The plot should be located preferably in the roadside field, easily accessibility and publicity. The field should be representative or typical of the soils in the village. Start the demonstration. Give wider publicity before starting the demonstration. Get all the materials ready. Start the demonstration in the presence of the villagers. Assist in getting the demonstration underway to make certain that the omission of some key points will not make later works aimless. Arrange for method demonstration meeting where a skill may be involved in the beginning stage of demonstrations or later. Mark the demonstration plots with larger signs so that all can see. Number 7 is supervise the demonstration. Visit the demonstration plot frequently to sustain demonstrators' interest. Then check on progress. See that proceeding steps are performed only as already outlined. Maintain records and assist the demonstrator also in keeping proper records. Give publicity to the demonstration and the farmer at suitable stages. Conduct two successful demonstrations at proper times. Let the demonstrator himself explain to visitors as far as possible. Mention in news stories, circular letters, radio talks, etc. at critical stages. Complete the demonstration. See that final steps of the demonstration are completed properly. Take photographs. Hold meetings at demonstration. Show visible evidence which will contribute to confidence. Summarize records, analyze and interpret data. Follow up. Give wide publicity to results of demonstration. Encourage demonstrator to report at meetings. Prepare visual aids based on the results of demonstration. Get other farmers agree to demonstration during the next season. Advantages of result demonstrations are: number 1, gives the extension worker extra assurance that recommendation is practical and furnishes local proof of its advantages. Increases the confidence of farmers in extension worker and his recommendations. It is useful in introducing a new practice, contributes to discovery of local leaders, provides teaching material for further use by extension workers. And the limitations of result demonstrations are: requires lot of time and preparation on the part of extension worker, a costly method, difficult to find good demonstrators who will keep records, unfavorable weather destroys the teaching value. At the stage when it is most convincing, only few people will see the demonstration. Unsuccessful demonstration may spoil the prestige of extension and lead to loss of confidence. So, we can conclude that in a individual contact methods, the extension worker communicates with the people individually, maintaining separate identity of each person. Farm and home visit is a face-to-face type of individual contact by the extension worker with a farmer or with the members of his family on the farm or at his home for one or more specific purpose connected with the extension. Observation plot is a method by which the suitability or otherwise of a new practices to a given locality and the farmer's conditions is determined. A result demonstration is a method of teaching designed to show by example the practical application of an established fact or group of related facts. Thank you.